This video is intending to show you a simple motor symbol and examples of templates and progressive disclosure. The motor symbol itself is as small as possible, occupies as little real estate as possible, so therefore we can get more information and meaningful information onto the process flow diagram mimic pages without using additional little templates and nameplates and that kind of thing. So if we want more information, we just simply hover over the device, we get a pop-up, it gives us tag name, description, and it also tells us to click for more details. So if we click for more details, we bring up a very simple looking template, but this template only brings up the information that a user would typically need in the majority of cases. So we're not loading the system unnecessarily with all sorts of other information. We can still get it from this template, but we don't want to bring it up every time that the user clicks. It just slows the system down, ruins the experience for the user. But for the most part, this would be more than enough. We can see that the device is healthy here. If we have an emergency stop, trip problem, general electrical issues, we'll have it here. If we've got a fault on the TSYS-T, the motor protection relay stuff, or more intelligent devices, VSD faults, that kind of thing, we could bring up that fault there, and then we can drill down into that information. But for the most part, if we want to come here, we would see the device running, stopped, maybe see the amps, that kind of thing. My experience is that most times the guys, if they want to take some control, they want to use a SCADA manual function, put it into SCADA manual, we give them the start-stop buttons, they can start the device, stop the device from the faceplate, do whatever it is they need to do, and then go back to automatic control. And as you can see, I use the left-hand side of the motor for status and the right-hand side for mode of operation. So that changes depending on what we're doing. Down at the bottom here is our sort of progressive disclosure type info. Again, the one we would see the most use of is the process interlock. Why will the device not start? And down here we can have a list. 16 greens mean we can go. So we can put an array of conditions that are required for this device to be able to run at any one time. I've got a fault. If I've got a fault condition, I can click on here, so again I get more details on the faults, so TSYS problems or general electrical problems. It could be a process condition, low flow on startup, high pressure, low pressure, that kind of thing, or maybe a high level on a tank of some kind has kicked in. Excuse me. Trends, if I want to see a trend, what's the device been doing over the past period. I initially default with the last 30 minutes, but if we click on 8 hours, 24 or 7 days, we'll go back in time and see what has been happening. As far as run stop fault, we might want to embed the amps value on here, and for the variable speed drives it would be speed as well. So quite an easy template to work with. More detail on the TSYS-T, so we can bring up more details from the TSYS-T communications itself. So we pick up this information, so if there was a fault condition, we bring it up in the main page here, and then we click on the button, bring up the reveal more information. Progressive disclosure is the approach. Okay, and on the info page, we could launch a document, maybe even this video, for how to operate devices, that kind of thing. So we can launch information or pictures of equipment. I've built in a little simple template just for being able to create conditions. I'm not hooked up to a PLC in this particular, so if I create a TSYS fault, you can see the TSYS fault comes up, and also I highlight it because that's where you're going to get the detailed information for that. Same with a fault condition. If I bring up a general fault condition, bring it up and I highlight the button to suggest that this is where you're going to go to get more detailed information. So very quickly, in a nutshell, more than happy to share this with you guys, and I can bring the laptop through and we can show this live. But in the meanwhile, there's some background on some of the things I've been working on for Zamfleet.